Hello brothers and sisters of the Imperium, and welcome back to another Space Marine 2 video. In this video, I'm going to do my best to answer every single question I have from you, my viewers, about the Space Marine 2 game. At this point, I'm nearing 50 hours of playtime in Space Marine 2, and I asked you over on my community tab on YouTube to ask me questions about the game, the things that you wanted to know, and over 400 of you have responded. So this is the entire video dedicated to answering those questions. I want to say a massive shout out to Game Riot for allowing me to use the footage that's in the background. Strap yourself in, watch it, get some paints out, anything like that, because this is going to be a long one. So the first big thing I want to talk about is my computer specs, because there was a lot of questions regarding performance of this game, how it ran on my computer. My computer specs are, my CPU is a Ryzen 9 5950X, my graphics card is an NVIDIA 390, and I have 64 gigs of RAM. I put every single setting there was to maximum on this game, and it ran absolutely perfect. I don't think I dropped below 60 frames a second. Like, I was averaging 70 to 80 frames a second, and my resolution was 2560 by 1440. So that gives you a little bit of an insight on how it ran with me. I absolutely saw no graphical problems. I never had any crashes at all. And yeah, it ran perfect. It was a perfect experience on my system. Now, on to the individual questions, and maybe I'm going to put your names in the background with a question actually on the screen and stuff. So the first one is from @Madlock, and he states, "Where are the flamers? Stomp stomp, Vulcan lives." Now, from my playthrough in this game, there was no flamers in the current build for any of the classes, but we do know that the flamer is an option in the single player game. So maybe the developers are leaving the flamer out for now, and maybe they'll be adding it in later on. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they add it on, because I would love to bring flame weapons to the Corporation missions. The next question is from Dr. Nope. Is the customization for Chaos as in-depth as it is for the standard Adeptus Astartes? In this version of the game, I'm going to have to say no. Currently, the build that I've got allows me to play 2 cooperation missions and 1 single player mission. I get full access to all the Adeptus Astartes stuff, but there was nothing in there for me to go in and make my own Chaos Space Marine. Maybe that's going to be a part of the full game, but for now, mate, I'm sorry, there was nothing in there for that. There was just skins which you could equip to your Loyalist Marine, and that is it. Just unlocking skins and decals for Chaos factions. The next question comes from Roy11700. How detailed are the cosmetics? Are we going to see things like candles, pelts, or things like stand out for different chapters? This was a widely asked question, mostly about Space Wolves and pelts and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully this covers all the bases. It's pretty cool to see what we have with customization at the moment, but in terms of, like, Black Templars have candles on their backpack, Space Wolf have furs and, you know, cloaks and stuff like that with furs on there, Salamanders have scales. There was none of that in the game as of yet. I do theorize that maybe that is going to be one of the big pushes in DLC that the game developers are going to bring to this game, because it's all about customization for now. It looks like, anyway, their DLC looks like it's all going to be about customization, so maybe they're going to bring that into the game through that kind of DLC. But if you're buying the base game right now, then no. There's no pelts, there's no Salamander scales, there's no candles for Black Templars. It's just basically cool looking armor that looks good across the board on different coloured chapters. That is it. Next question is from Vinny on top. Any confirmation of them adding additional chapters after release? I'm still crossing fingers for Retributors. Mate, I'm crossing fingers for Retributors as well, because technically they are Sons of Dawn. Again, harking back to the other question, I do think this is going to be one of their main plans now going forward. It's looking like the first season pass of this game is that Ultramarine DLC successor package, where you get, I think, 12 new skins in there, and it opens it up then to more Ultramarines being in this game, or should I say Ultramarine successors being in this game. So again, I theorize we're probably going to get something like a Blood Angel pack, an Imperial Fist pack, a Dark Angel pack, which will then breach in and go into all the big successor chapters for those father chapters. So hopefully that is on the horizon and you will be playing Retributors. Chimeria Elite, he asked, how impactful are the perks, and could you walk us through a couple of your theory crafted builds? Mate, I would love to walk you through some of my builds, but sadly, again, I'm not allowed to show my footage off. I was asked by Focus not to show it off because of this whole GW debacle where they don't want me promoting their product because I'm on their so-called blacklist. But as soon as the game releases, I'm going to be doing a lot of theory crafting, best builds and stuff like that, so stay tuned to the channel, and yeah, I'll be definitely showing that off. Perks are very, very vital in this game, especially so if you want to start doing the harder missions. Like if you don't unlock your perks, I learned this the hard way. I put all my resources into unlocking like chapter skins and the rule of cool, and I attempted to do the harder missions, and I was just getting absolutely thrown around by some of the harder hitting mobs. So yes, perks are very, very vital, and if you want to help your team, if you want to be that bulwark against the horrors of humanity, then invest in your perks. Zito or something, sorry mate, I've just butchered your name. Can you respect the points you invest in perks and weapons? How many times? You can reinvest yeah, in your builds of your weapons, and I think it's unlimited at this point. Well, the build I'm playing, it was unlimited because I was testing different guns and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, so it seems like you actually can do that. Next question from Brandon Rack 5239. Is the customization so detailed you can replicate the Crimson Fist armor, e.g. making the fist as red as the rest of the arm and blue? Right, so a lot of people have been asking me about Crimson Fist in the game. Technically, you can make a Crimson Fist right now. I've made a Crimson Fist. I would love to show it off again in the background, but again, I'm not allowed to show it off. All you had to do is just unlock the Imperial Fist skin in-game, and then unlock the certain blue in-game that you want for your Crimson Fist. And yeah, you can go in and change it, because you can go in and change the chapter symbol to a red fist. The only thing that you actually can't do if you want to come across as like a veteran Crimson Fist is actually change the gauntlets to red themselves. Hopefully that is an option that the developers add in. I think that's a massive oversight on their part for chapters like the Crimson Fist. So again, fingers crossed they actually go back and they fix that, and we can actually customize stuff like gauntlets. Next question is from It's Not Shah. Again, thank you for your question. For co-op operations, which class feels the most fun from the get-go, and which feel like you need to put work in to make them work? Feels like Tactical Sniper Vanguard will need some dedication, whereas Assault, Bulwark and Heather will be most fun initially. Mate, I think it's all down really to what your play style is. I'm a very, very aggressive player. If you're watching the video in the background right now, I'm running in with my chainsaw, just butchering everything. Game Right sat at the back, you know, shooting his big heavy plasma gun. So for me, the class I felt most attached to was the Tactical Assault Bulwark, because that is my playstyle. I'm not trying to say the other classes were bad, it's just I never felt that much of an attachment to them as I did for that class. I think a lot of people will go into a certain class thinking they'll like it, and then maybe they won't like it depending on their play style. I think you have to just test the game, play the game a little bit, and you'll come to terms with what class you want to play. I went in here thinking that you know, I was going to play heavy all the time because I love like the thick Gravis armor, and really I'd put all my time into the bog standard tactical because I thought it was the jack of all trades. It does great melee, does great range, and yeah, I absolutely loved it. So hopefully that answers your question. Grav Alias 85, sorry mate, I think I've butchered your name as well. You ask 100% offline mode option, question mark. I think the developers have confirmed that you actually can play this game offline already. I will tell you from an experience that I had when I was playing the game and the servers went down, and I was playing in offline mode with the bots. So For me, that does confirm offline mode, but the problem is that it wasn't recording my XP, it wasn't recording my unlock. So if you are playing offline and not connected to the server, I don't think it's going to allow you to unlock stuff. Hopefully the developers will be more clear with that in the coming weeks and we can get like a better answer for you. The next question is from Sly Brian 5743. Does the shield get any special moves? And he's put in brackets, bash, trip, stun, etc. Can you grapple hook mid-air / flying enemies? What's your favourite finishing move? If you could replace Tyranids in the game with another race, who would it be? Wow, there's a lot of questions on that question. So let's answer the first one. Does the shield have any special moves? It does. So with the shield, you can constantly block range fire and walk forward, so you can protect your battle brothers behind you. You can soak up all the damage, and it does have a stun. So if the mobs are around you, you can do your block and you can do a little like shield bash stun on enemies, and if you hit them at the right point, you know, it stuns them and you can do some executes and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Can you grapple hook mid-air flying enemies? I don't know. I haven't tried it. That is a great question. Maybe I'll have to go away now and actually try and do that. I think we should be able to do it. Right, a Zornthrope showing up and just grappling it in the mid-air and just drop kicking it out of the air, that would be fantastic. And if I could replace the Tyranids with anyone in game, ooh, it'd probably have to be the Iron Warriors. Nothing more glorious than purging those Iron Losers for, like, you know, 6 to 12 hours constantly, you know, just to make sure they know their place. Thanks for the question, mate. I appreciate it. Liberate 1990, mate. Thank you for your question. As a boy of Sanguinio, great name, I have yet to see green lenses. The default Blue Angel skin has red lenses. Is this a mistake, or can they be customized? Literally game breaking, mate. There's a lot of things game breaking so far in this game in terms of customization. As far as I'm aware, you cannot customize eye lenses. The eye lenses are the eye lenses that you're stuck with, mate. Again, hopefully the developers will look into this, because that is a big oversight when it comes to customizing certain things. So fingers crossed, mate, they actually do fix that. Next one is Rusted Token. Are they going to add an apothecary class? I want to stitch up my fellow battle brothers. I was getting a lot of questions about classes and stuff in game. One of the main things to point out in this game is that like the actual classes you're seeing are considered characters from the developers. They all have their each names. They have their voice lines. They talk to each other. So I do hope that we do get more characters and classes added. I think an apothecary class, librarian class, even a chaplain added could be really, really cool, because they put the effort in to make these classes individual characters. So why not add more? Why not add more specialist characters like the chaplains, librarians, tech marines? We're not based like humans. Yeah, so tech marines and stuff like that, mate. Hopefully that is a thing that they do in DLCs in future content, or maybe free updates and stuff like that. That would be great. Next question is from Wrath of Angmar. He says, great content, mate. Thanks, I appreciate it. Just wondering if you can block range attacks with a bulwark shield, like ranged termagants or even warriors. Yes, I've just previously answered that. Yes, you can block range attacks with a shield. I was doing that all my playthroughs. I was like, fight me, Xenos, you know? Yeah, I'm taking it all to the face. Wait, that sounded weird. You know what I mean? Next one is Asparagus X. What a name. Will you do a breakdown of the Gravis class weapons? Also, the weapon mechanics, like how they are dealing with the armor penetration and damage. How does the melter weapon work? Well, let me answer the last one first. The melter weapon works basically like a shotgun in this game. Kind of like what it worked like with Space Marine 1. Even though the melter class is described as like a beam type weapon, what they've chosen to do in the Space Marine genre of this game is shotgun mode. So if any big mobs get near you, a big pile of mobs, you can just go in there and burn them all like via this melter shotgun. To answer the first question, I will be doing a full breakdown of everything when I can show it off to you guys. Going back to what I said before about Focus and Games Workshop not wanting me to show my footage off, Yes, right. If I could show it off, it'd be already up on the channel, but at this moment in time, I can't. So I'll come back around the 4th of September, and this channel will be solely dedicated to Space Marine 2 and showing everything off that you want to see. Next question is Daka Von Smashoven. Again, another great name. Are there any of the free-player co-op missions against Chaos, or are they all against Tyranids so far? Again, I only got to play against Tyranids. They only gave us access to 2 co-op operation missions, but I do think some of them will be against Chaos. There's some evidence in game where you get logs from different worlds, and I think it will be against Chaos as well. Hopefully, it's going to be amazing against Chaos, because the Tyranid stuff is amazing, and you know, purging your traitorous kin is going to feel even better. Next question is from Sushi Lover. Not a fan myself, mate. Firstborn helmets, question mark, specifically Mark 7. And will there be islands, colours, choices, single green from the helmet options? I've already answered the island stuff. But on the topic of firstborn helmets, and this goes for all the marks, really, the only armour I saw in this game was Primaris armour. Again, going back to what I've been saying, hopefully that is one of the customization options the developers add to the game. You know, Mark 5 shoulder pads, legs, and, you know, the studded armor, and beaky helmets, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 5 helmets, you know, all the veteran-y-esque armor stuff you can add to your characters is wanted by the community, and I'm sure that the developers have heard that, well, they're hearing that, they're seeing that for the community, so surely that has to be added at some point. Thanks for the question, mate. Next one is from Oliver Santaman, 5492. I'd love to know the difference / higher gear offer better of the same perks or stats, or if there are any benefits of having a variety of gear. Mate, gear is all a matter of rule of cool. There's no benefits to having the best looking gear in game to the lowest looking gear in game. It's simpler rule of cool. It's just skins. It's just making you look like an absolute cool hero on the battlefield. That's all it is. Colin Ford, for the Bulwark, do you think we'll get other skins for the banner? At least handful of chapter banners, not just Ultramarines. I hope so, Colin. This was one of the things, again, I talked about in one of my videos, which I weren't allowed to post, when I was playing my Bulwark playthrough. It's like, I was playing it as a Black Templar, and every time I put my banner down, it was an Ultramarine. I was like, well, this doesn't feel right. So, yes, I really, really hope that they do add banners for the chapter that you're actually playing for. I think it just adds a little bit more to the experience. Next question is from 1900. Can we customize or turn off the HUD like hit markers and health bars? Question mark. From what I've seen in my playthrough and all the settings that I went through, no, you can't, mate. At this point, no, but they definitely should add that. They should add like a cinematic mode to this game where you can turn that off for people who just want to play amazing playthroughs, like me on my channel. I mean, I would love to play this game with no crosshairs or, you know, markers showing up at all, to give the full cinematic experience. Definitely agree with that one. Chris Daver, thank you for your question. Are we going to be able to do Mortifactors and Sons of the Phoenix? Are the custom colours not flexible? You can literally make any chapter in this game if you unlock the colours, but you won't have the decal on their shoulder pad. That is one of the big things that this game lacks. It has ultimate like colours in the game, so you can make anything you want. You can change the colours of shoulder pads, you know, symbols, helmet colours, chest colours. You can do it half and half. You can do it checky pattern and stuff like that. You can go in and make any chapter you want, but when it comes to the chapter decals in the game, they are very, very limited. So technically yes, but technically no at the same time. The Serpent's Ambition. How does parrying feel? Some say great, others some say it's clunky and it's hard to perform consistently. I'll tell you my experience about this, and it was not very, very fun at the start. So the developers basically gave these keys out, and there was no real guide or anything like that. I do think this game is going to have a training simulator when it fully launches, because there's a lot of things in the in the Space Marine hub area where you go, which indicate this, but I'm not going to get into that in this video because I want to show that off personally. But yes, I do feel like at the start of the game, it felt very, very weird. Like, I actually was saying to Game Right when I was playing it, I just don't like this blocking mechanic. I just don't like this parry mechanic. I'm just awful at it. Like, once the enemies were surrounding me, I felt like I was like on bumper cars just getting knocked around everywhere. But I thought, no, right, you know, I'm going to learn, I'm going to try my best, I'm going to put some effort into it. And once I started to play the classes, learn the classes, and definitely using melee combinations, this is a really, really big thing in the game. So if you take a Power Fist, if you take a Thunder Hammer, a Chainsword, a Power Sword, you know, any of the melee weapons, even running around, you know, you can do like Power Stomps with the Heavy and stuff like that. You can do like stun locks and stuff, and I think this is the thing that people need to learn, to stun the enemies, to go in there, to do the kicks, to do the power stomps, to do the you know, the Thunder Hammer smashes down, and that, you know, stuns the enemies, and it just helps you out a little bit more. The more I played in melee, the more I got used to it, and the more I liked it. It's just getting used to parrying and dodge rolling. For people who don't know, if you see blue on the screen, that means you can parry it and you can normally finish it off with like an execution. And if you see red, it means you have to dodge, so like spacebar and stuff like that, and just get out of the way of the attack. It's an undodgeable parry. So yeah, it's just getting everything sorted, but of course with all the combats going on, it can get confusing. It really can get confusing, but the more you play, yeah, the more use you get to it. Next up, this is from Sharon Gadud, so hopefully I pronounced your name right. One I haven't seen asked, although it's minor, is there friendly fire at all? No friendly fire from what I played. Absolutely none. I put melter bombs down on Game Riot. I've exploded barrels next to him. I've intentionally tried to kill him, but no, nothing. Absolutely zero squat. Once you like when you shoot your enemy, like the crosshair goes green, like, oh yeah, I'm shooting at my enemy, but it does no damage to them at all. Next question is from Benjamin Thomas 6117. I'd like to confirm, do we have crossplay PC to Xbox? In the settings I was playing with, there's an option for crossplay, but I don't know in terms of what the crossplay is going to be. I am 99.9% certain that PC players and Xbox players are going to be crossplay with each other, but I don't know about you PS5 players. I really, really don't. Hopefully, they announce something like that very, very soon, because that is one of the big, big questions. Cash Fond is the next question. Would you recommend the PC or console route with this game? Well, I've always been a PC player. I've never really got into PC gaming, console gaming in these recent years. Like, my last console was a I'm trying to think what my last console was now. I think it was a Nintendo 64 GoldenEye, and like, you know, no ob jobs, right? Choppers only. Those golden days with me and my mates, I think that was my last console. So I've always been PC, so I always recommend PC, but that's just personal preference. Next one is Modern Daily Lich. How exactly do perks work for each class? Do you unlock new ones at certain levels and then buy them with the currency, and have certain ones active at a time? So basically how it works is, once you finish a mission, which you'll see towards the end of this gameplay, if I'm still talking, you'll get a little bit of a resource, and on that resource you can spend it on unlocking perks. There's a stack of free on the first row, free on the second row, free on the third row, and you can unlock every perk if you want to, but you can only choose one perk from each row. So you can do like different builds with different perks and stuff, and there's 3 columns of perks. Actually, there's 4 columns of perks. There's one dedicated to you, there's like one dedicated to your squad. So for example, the one I had on my squad unlocked was 5% damage decrease from range in the game. And then you have like your main ability, which again was the tactical I was playing with, which was like the all spec scan, and I chose like any warriors that were scanned with all specs couldn't call for help, so you know, we just didn't get overwhelmed. And I think the last one is kind of like a I think that's like your ultimate or something like that. I can't remember at this time what it was, but yeah, there's different columns, and you can only pick one from each of those rows, mate. You can't like have every single perk unlocked and be like the Emperor of Mankind walking on the battlefield. Next one is Dissident Fan. Again, I think I've just butchered your name. I'm sorry. He says, do you only get XP for the class you are playing, or can you spend it on any class you want? You only get XP for the class that you're playing. So yeah, I'm playing Tactical, Game Riot's playing Heather. Anything that we earn from this mission, XP-wise, goes to that said class. That is it. You can't like go on play Tactical on like the most badass mode and then give all that to like the sniper class. No, it doesn't work like that. It's whatever class you play, that's what you get your XP on. Next one is Josh Taylor. Will we be able to play Chaos chapters in Operations? Also, are the Minotaurs an option in customization? Well, technically, the Minotaurs do come from the Iron Warrior gene seed, because they're all bastards. So, technically, yes, you can play Chaos, but if you're asking, can you play as, like, full Black Legion, full Alpha Legion, with, like, all the chaotic shoulder pads and horns and stuff like that? No, you can't. What you can do is unlock, like, the Alpha Legion skin, or should I say colours and chapter symbol, and apply that to like a Vanguard Marine, a Tactical Marine, and so play like a Loyalist Traitor Marine kind of thing, if that makes sense to you. But no, you can't play like as Chaos in co-op operations. Maybe that's something they're going to be adding later on, but at this point, yeah, no, it's just pure Loyalist. Next question is from Matt Keller. How many heavy weapon options are there for Heavy? There's 3 options for Heavy. You get to play with the Plasma, as Game Riot's playing with right now in the background if you're watching. There's the Multi-Melter you get to play with, and there's also the Heavy Bolter. The Heavy Bolt Rifle is not on the Heavy class, which I was surprised with. They actually gave that to the Tactical class. I'm playing with it right now. If Game Riot like shows some of footage, well, points his gun towards me, you'll see that I'm playing with a Heavy Bolt Rifle with a drum magazine, which is, yeah, I was like, okay, then this is my new favorite weapon with the Tactical class. I thought it was going to be given to the Heavy, but no, they gave it to the Tactical, which was, yeah, quite a strange choice, to be fair, but this is what they've done. Next question is from Grana Caster Elof. Sorry if I butchered your name, mate. You ask, recent news show a Salamander Phobos Marine without the Salamander skin tone. Is there any info on whether it's possible to change the skin completely in the multiplayer customization menu? I want to answer the last one first. We did not get access to multiplayer. There's so many multiplayer questions in this list, which I'm sorry, guys, I can't answer because we never got access to it. I wish we did get access to it, but we just never got access to it. In terms of the Salamander Phobos, each class is a character, like I said, and they have a set appearance. You can't change the skin color, the features, the hairstyles, like eye color. Nothing like that. You can't do that at all. So yes, it looks like we are going to have like a white salamander. Hopefully, we will get options where we can go in and change, you know, hairstyles, faces and stuff like that. I think that's one of the things that the developers need to add into the game. But I go back to what I was saying at the start of the video, where the characters the classes are basically characters, so that's why they've set them up this way. But it does feel a bit strange, yes. Next question is from Scoring Carpet 6887. Is there an overcharge skill for the Heavy Plasma? Well, if you've been watching the video in the background, you can see the Plasma charging up and firing and stuff like that from Game Riot. There is definitely skill sets you can invest into the Plasma that cools it down more. Sometimes when the Plasma is overheated, it does a little bit more damage as well, which is really, really cool. So yes, you can invest into going fully into the plasma weapons in this game, which is really, really cool. Next question is from J Black 7495. How does the progression system work? Question mark. For example, in terms of XP and cosmetics / weapons and armor upgrades, what is kept after a mission fail versus a completed mission? Does the XP reward seem generous or a bit too grinder? Well, looking at the multiplayer trailers, mate, it looks like the better XP is definitely rewarding in playing multiplayer, but that's coming down to a skill issue, how well you play against other players. In terms of what you get from the progression system, if a mission fails, there's certain checkpoints in the game. So if you reach like halfway through, let's say for example it's 100 XP per checkpoint, and you get to the third checkpoint, you get 300 XP. But if you picked up any resources along the way which you need then to upgrade your weapons, you lose all of that. You just gain that XP where you was up to where you died. So don't die and make sure you survive to live another day in the Emperor's name. Next question is coming from Blue Sun 292. If you aren't playing with people, can you customize the AI companions? Can you select what AI comes with you? As far as I'm aware, in this version of the game that I played, you can't customize them at all. They just turn up in the random basic ultramarine armor, and you can't pick what companions come with you, no. Sadly, because technically I would pick the assault AI. I always find out like the melee, like the jump assault and the bulwark perform better than like just the range guys in game. Because if I'm not mistaken, when they run out of ammo, they don't pick new ammo up. I had a Phobos guy who brought, it was a sniper who brought his sniper rifle, and he shot it all at the start, and I never see him shoot again. He was just doing melee all the way through the mission. So maybe that is something that the developers need to fix before the game goes live, because yeah, it can really affect your gameplay if you want to solo play on your own. Next question from Stormtrooper 421: what chapters are playable? Well, you'll like to know that I recorded a video today going through every single chapter in this game. There's the founding chapters, which are like the Imperial Fists and the Ultramarines, the Raven Guard, the Salamanders, White Scars, etc. You have then Unknown founding, which includes stuff like the Minotaurs, the Red Scorpions, the Exorcists, even though the Exorcists got an article stating they come from the Sons of Dawn, but let's not get into that in this video. And then you have the Ultramarine DLC successor pack. But again, like I said, I'm going to be doing a dedicated video to that, going through every last one of them, giving a little bit of info in every chapter, and some background in case people don't know what chapters are what, and maybe just opens their eyes on how cool they can be and some of the campaigns that they fought in. That's going to be coming out sometime on the weekend, mate, so hopefully you're looking forward to that. Deathless Prince, he put, how is replayability in PvP operations? How random are the enemy spawns? What's going to keep you coming back for more and more? My only concern about this game, it only has 6 PvE operations. Might mean PvE says court replayability is low. I'm more of a PvE guy than PvP. Completely understand. This was one of my main concerns, not only in this game, but another big Warhammer 40k game as well, and that is Darktide. As a massive fan of Vermintide, and when they announced Darktide, I had the same concern. When I played Vermintide, I was like, I love Vermintide, it was amazing, it was Warhammer Fantasy, you know, I grew up on this stuff. But after playing the missions 10, 20, 30 times, no matter what settings you played it on, they just got boring, they just got exhausting, the fun just wasn't there anymore. And I do think that Space Marine 2 will suffer with this, with a lot of people. I think it all depends on how much of a fanboy you are, how much fun are you going to be getting. I'm hoping the developers will see this as a massive opportunity to keep adding different operations to the games and keep people coming back, doing new missions on certain planets, and maybe randomizing missions like what Deathwing eventually did, where even though it was a set mission, they added something where it came into just a randomized mission and you got to do different objectives, which increased the replayability of it. Maybe they'll add something like that, but you know, it's really down to you as a player, like how much you really got to get out of this game. I'm hoping that the replayability is going to be there for everyone. I'm more or less going to focus on PvP. I'm a big PvP player, but I do understand your concern with the PvE operations. I'm just going to read that one again because it says how random are enemy spawns / what's going to keep you coming back. Well, the enemy spawns are really random. Like some playthroughs, I go through with a breeze and there's just no bosses. The next playthrough, there's Lictors, there's Raveners, the zone throats. Yeah, there's just everything popping up. So it does feel very, very random. And speaking of Raveners, there's one on the screen right now. Absolutely slapping game right around because, you know, of course, he supports West Ham. Next question is Ivan the Urchin. How are the jiggle physics? He asks. I did a full video on how good the jiggle physics are in this game, and it will never see the light of day, thanks to Games Workshop. I was literally spinning my guy around left and right, showing the purity seals, the loincloths, how it all just flows. It was amazing. It was absolutely awesome. But yeah, I can't show that off, mate. I'm so sorry. But yes, there is a lot of jiggle physics in the game, and I think you're absolutely gonna love that. And on that note, because the Thunderhawk's leaving, it means it's time up for me. I'm gonna have to call this video. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, any questions at all that I haven't answered, again, post them down below, and I'll do my utmost best to try and answer them for you in that comment section. I do want to give a slight plug, right? If you're thinking of pre-ordering the game, I know people say, no pre-orders, Valrak. If you want to pre-order the game, or if you want to buy the game once it's out and you're watching this once it's out, I have a link sticking to the top comment of this video. If you go over to Games Planet, you can buy the game, use code Valrak at the checkout, and you get 15% off, or should I say up to 15% off on the game, depending where you're around the world. Save yourself a little bit of money. If you want to use it, use it. I appreciate it. I get a 5% kickback, you know, and putting all of my cards on the table. If you don't want to use it, then don't want to use it. But if you want to play Space Marine 2, I'll see you on the battlefield. I can't wait to play with you all. We're going to purge until my eyes pop out my head. I absolutely cannot wait to get my hands on this game, well, to get my hands more on this game and play with all you fine gentlemen and sisters of the Imperium. See you in a bit. Have a great day, have a great night, evening, wherever you're around the world, and bye-bye.